The definition of conviction is a firmly held belief. Leadership looks different for each person, but every leader has strong convictions that pave the way for how they guide their people. Whether you're an experienced leader, a current leader, a novice leader, or a soon-to-be leader, this podcast is a must for you. Through this show, you will hear leaders share their convictions, the struggles they face, and the challenges they have overcome by staying true to their convictions. Leadership can be hard and it can be lonely. I aim to connect you with leaders who have walked the journey and want to show others the way. This is Beau Vincent, and you're listening to The Conviction of a Leader. Welcome back to The Conviction of a Leader. This is Beau Vincent, your host. I'm excited to be joined by Tom Porep, good friend, a longtime friend, fellow, used to be my mentor, now friend, but still look up to Tommy in a lot of ways. Tommy has done business just slightly longer than me, has had a phenomenal career at Allstate as an agency owner, but also has had a very unique past, which we've talked about on a previous episode. So if you're interested to hear more about his specific journey, I would love for you to listen to the Tommy Porep episode from season 1. But we're here in Cancun with CWC Live, and I just wanted to do a 10 or 15 minute nugget on leadership. So I asked Tommy to join me so that we could dive into some leadership nuggets. So Tommy, what do you got for us today?
I got a couple questions for you.
Oh,
I know you interview a lot of people on your podcast, but I put together 4 questions here for us to go through today, just to sort of get your opinion on some things on leadership that some of your listeners might have questions about.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm ready.
Question 1.
Rapid fire.
Do we all lead the same?
Do we all lead the same? No, we do not lead the same. I'm going to try to answer these as fast as I can.
Yes.
We do not lead the same. We are all different people. We all retain differently. Tommy, I just got done speaking at our event here, and I spoke about how people retain information differently. Some people retain through reading and writing and watching videos. Some people will retain socially communicating and speaking with other people. And then most people will learn through experiential, on-the-job training, playing basketball, and not just watching basketball, not just reading a book or talking to an athlete about basketball, but they learn from watching the video, talking about what they learned in the video, and then doing it on the job. So people all learn differently. The thing with how you lead should not be inclusive to the way that you learn. It should be inclusive to, or it shouldn't be exclusive to the way that you learn. It should be inclusive to the way that all people learn. So when you set your foundation of leadership, it should be about the people you're leading, not about you, and they need to conform. Now, I do believe there is some sort of conformment that needs to happen within your business on the vision and on your business. That's why I say you need to recruit people that fit your compensation, career development, and culture. Yeah. Thank you.
No, I agree with you 100%. Not everyone learns the same way. And part of being a leader is figuring out how to lead people that may learn in a different way than you.
Yes.
Very
true.
good. Okay. Ready for question 2?
Yeah.
They kind of go on top of each other. So does your age have anything to do with how you lead people?
Man.
Experience level.
I mean, yeah, it does. Actually, it comes down to an experience. Sometimes people can experience more in a shorter amount of time. That's true. So not all 30-year-olds are equally experienced. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Their experiences are different. Their unique paths are different. The way they learn are different. Some people have went to college, got a bachelor's, had a master, and worked for a year or two before they're 30. Some people didn't go to college and they were experientially working for 10 years. So each person those are the two polar opposites, but everybody has a different and a unique approach to leadership based on their experience. So that's my thing, is that I think you can learn, and some people learn based on other people and their stories. So if I tell you a story about how I failed or learned in business, you may take that and actually apply it. Some people need to learn through their own experiences and failures and successes. So Each person is different, but I do believe that the older you get, it does become a way to speak of your experiences, not just what you learned in school or in a book. You could talk about experiences, but I do think that the longer that you're in leadership, you get farther away from the entry level. So there is a mixture of like, it's good to be young and fresh to a leadership role. It also could be harder the longer that you're in.
You don't just wake up tomorrow and you're a leader.
No. As an insurance agent, I know how important it is to stay on top of your business finances. Cash is the lifeblood of our business, and how you manage your finances impacts your ability to survive and to thrive as an agency owner. That's why I use Club Capital for my business's accounting and CFO advisory services. Club Capital provides business management services to grow your top line and manage your bottom line. Club Capital gives me monthly financial statements so that I have the data I need when making decisions with my Club Capital CFO advisor about my agency. So whether it's hiring a new employee, buying another book of business, or investing more in a marketing initiative, Club Capital helps me model out different scenarios to give me the information and the financial data I need to make the right decision to help my business grow. Click the link in the podcast show notes below or scan the QR code now to book a free, no obligation financial audit call. Mention the Conviction of a Leader podcast and get your first month of Club Capital free. That's right. Mention the Conviction of a Leader and get your first month of Club Capital services free of charge. Visit the link now to learn more. I think some people may be dispositioned naturally to be a leader, but there's also some things that happen within your environment of growing up. Is that I was the oldest son, and there was some things in my family that forced me to lead as the oldest, and other family things that happened that forced me to be a leader at a younger age. So I think the dynamics of your life also can help develop you into leadership.
Yes.
Not just being born that
I
way.
always tell the story of my first leadership job. I was 12.
Wow.
And I was officiating youth sports as a 12-year-old. I was officiating kids younger than me, yet I was telling adults what to do and leading them through a game. So yeah, there's really no age to learning leadership.
No.
Okay, next question. This builds on that.
Yeah.
So can you lead people with more experience than you?
Absolutely, but it's not easy. But you can. And Tommy, we have some similar experiences. Now, I left one company and went to another, which I just spoke about, my last business. Now, in that last business, actually, one of our first businesses was working with a Macy's retailer. And in Macy's, the average age was considerably older than me that worked inside of the store. And we want to try to match our customer base. So what we hired was mostly females that were older than us. Would you agree? At that time, and I was late 20s, working with people, ladies and men that were in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So yes, you can, but how do you do that is the real question, right? I believe that through working with somebody, I'm going to get to know them. I believe they have to know you, like you, and trust you in order to work with you. Now, it takes time, especially people with more experience. Now, Tommy, if I met your 15-year-old son and I'm a professional baseball player, within 5 minutes, he's going to trust me. Because I'm a baseball player and I'm older. Okay. But what if I met Sammy Sosa and I'm a current baseball player? Is he going to trust me within 5 minutes speaking? So each person requires a different level of know, like, and trust. Some are going to be fast. Some are going to be longer. One thing I've learned, here's a little secret: help people that are more experienced than you do something they're not very good at. So when I went to this second business that was more in the car auto parts industry, I had to help people find and grow in areas that they weren't as good in. I offered support in the recruiting side, the training side, where they weren't as maybe detailed or as good at. But when it came to me knowing what a car did or how a car part would help them, I had no idea. And I had to admit that. And it's actually good when you're leading people with more experience than you to say, I don't understand that. I don't know that, but I would like to learn it. But here's where I can help you, and asking people, where do you feel I could help you grow? Where do you struggle? And that's where you can actually add, I'm here to support you. Servant leadership is what it really is at the core, is like, I'm here to serve you. How can I help you grow?
Yeah. One of my best experiences with that was the guy that hired me into my first job in the footwear industry. After about 6 years in the industry, ended up being my assistant.
That's crazy. In the long run, yeah.
And
changed.
But our relationship was even better at that point. And he was still an influential person to me, even though I technically was his boss and was his leader, but we worked so well together.
Yeah.
I made him better. He made me better. And
Right.
that was, I think that's what brought that question to me was, can you lead someone with more experience?
And you
I was
did.
thinking about that in my career.
How intimidating is that though? Like you had a good relationship with him, but it's always like I am being scrutinized at a higher level when somebody's more experienced than me, has been doing it longer, maybe older than me. So age different, experience different. They all go into that like leadership style. But now I still lead. My 2 managers are older than me. So.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. And we'll get it wrapped up. Do you lead based on the person's experience?
Yeah. So, okay. So at the core, my training is very similar for each person, but how you connect with the person is extremely important. That know and the like side, you have to know who you're training. Why? Because then you could speak their language. You could speak to them in a way that they understand and absorb. When I'm speaking to somebody in retail, I know how to relate retail back to sales and insurance. I know how to speak to other entrepreneurs for things that will click for them, and knowing that, hey, it could be lonely to be an entrepreneur. It could be this. So I know when I speak the language of their past and their experiences, it does help connect in a deeper level, and it helps them retain, which also adds a know, like, and trust at a deeper level at each one. So when you take time to get to know somebody, then they will decide if they like you. And I think people just love to talk about themselves. So before you jump into deep training and leading people with different experiences or more experiences, I think you should get to know them. You should get them to open up about themselves.
Yes.
Makes sense, right? Okay.
Great.
Well, is that it?
Great.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the
welcome.
questions. Like most people don't do that. I do. I actually enjoy a little bit of the switch up where I get to be the interview right? Not the interviewer.
Right.
So it's nice. And like I said, I want to thank Tommy for coming on the Convictional Leader. We're here in Cancun for CWC Cancun. We're having a blast. If you are looking for on-the-job coaching, if you're looking for somebody to help you know, like, trust, and lead people better, let me know. I'd love to help you. Tommy, if you want to learn more about Tommy, he had a phenomenal episode in our first season. Tommy has taught me a lot in my life, and I think you would appreciate and love to listen to his episode. Thank you for joining me, man.
Thank you, Beau.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Cool. I love to coach and consult, and that is why I continue to open up more opportunities and spots for me to work with people like you. If you feel stuck and you need assistance getting past that, if you want to achieve things that you've never achieved in your career and through your business, I would love to speak with you for a free, no obligation phone call to see if we could work together. Because I've worked with over 100 individuals just like you over the last 2.5 years, and I have helped them achieve some of the greatest results of their entire career. And I look forward to working with you. So click on the link below for a free, no obligation consultation with me. Talk to you soon.